Okay, I've got Toby from Cricket District. Welcome to IXU On Air. Well, we're in the open air, and thanks so much for allowing us to use your equipment.
No problem. No problem.
But welcome, Toby, and welcome to South Africa.
Thank you very much.
What's been your highlight for arriving in here?
Well, firstly, using my equipment to film the video and record the podcast, but we're going to be using your equipment when we have a go later in the nets, which is cool.
Yes, I mean it's a fair trade.
it's a fair trade, 50-50. Gosh, I probably couldn't give you one exact day. I just think we've had the most amazing experience. Been very fortunate to be out here for the whole competition so far.
Yeah.
The SA20 team have been great in terms of giving us loads of access, different players.
And shirts.
And nice SA20 kit.
Yeah.
So overall, it's just been a fantastic experience. It's my third time in South Africa, and I love coming here.
Yeah, nice. So, I mean, obviously you get to spend time with the teams, and you get to fly around South Africa. How's that experience been to pop in at every stadium so far and spend time with the teams? How's that been?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think I said to you before we started recording, the stadiums and the atmosphere and the fans is really special, and what we've loved is going to the different stadiums and experiencing the different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Each ground has its own unique feel to it.
Definitely.
You've obviously got Newlands with a beautiful backdrop. You've got Padel that feels a bit like an outground in New Zealand with a bit of a better atmosphere actually, and everyone tuned in.
Yeah.
St George's with the brass band. You've got the Bull Ring up the road here, and obviously we're looking forward to watching a game at Supersport Park later today. So it's been a fantastic experience. The players are clearly enjoying it a lot. They love coming to South Africa and playing in this league, which has been really apparent.
Yeah.
And the team managers and the coaches have been really open to us just dropping into training.
Yeah.
For example, today we're going in for an hour before they start training. We're filming our content and then we're out again.
Nice.
But they've been really open. They clearly enjoy the content that we create, and I think the players actually relax around us because they realise it's just a fun bit of content for them to showcase their personality and their cricketing skills as well.
Yeah. You mentioned the South African fans. Is there something distinct about the South African fans versus Australia and England? Do we have something? I know we have something unique. I mean, we feel kind of unique. But
definitely. What I really enjoy about watching cricket in South Africa is obviously the weather is great and the stadiums are fantastic. We've got a unique atmosphere, but the fans are very passionate and very knowledgeable, and they will watch every single ball.
Yeah.
And they'll care about their local team. I think, to be honest, when we first heard about SA20 launching, we weren't particularly sure if fans would really connect with these teams because they're IPL owned, and you've got Mumbai Indians Cape Town, and you've got Pretoria Capitals, and you've got all of these Pearl Royals. But what's really struck us is how quickly the fans have connected to their favourite players and their favourite teams, and they love it. They really watch every ball. They care deeply about their local side, and that's something that I think sport is in your blood right here in South Africa.
Yeah.
And I think South Africa was crying out for a quality T20 tournament, and I think they've got it with the SA20.
No, definitely. And I think what it brings to South Africa, there's obviously this international exposure from the IPL teams, but also the other players that get to play here.
Yeah.
And I think it's an amazing exposure. I'm glad you get to experience the South African flavour, because you mentioned the different cultures and whatever. Flying from Cape Town to Pretoria, you get a whole different fan base, but it's so awesome to see that you are enjoying it.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Cricket District. I want to know, obviously from where you started to where you are now, I don't think you put it on a poster and stuck it on your ceiling and said, okay, one day I want to do exactly this. How did this whole idea find its inception? Was it immediately, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to be super famous, and I'm going to be doing all this crazy stuff? Or how did it grow into this?
Yeah, it's funny you say having that idea in your head of having something. To be honest, I actually did have that. I think I've had that since being a teenager. I've always wanted to do my own thing. My parents are both actors. they both taught drama at school, and I was often on stage performing.
Yeah.
And really enjoyed the creativity of that side of things. And I've played cricket for as long as I could hold a bat. I grew up playing village cricket in Kent, back in the UK, moved to Sussex, carried on playing, played cricket with Jacob, who's here at the moment, played cricket alongside Jack more recently, who's also part of the team. So cricket is very much in my blood.
Yeah.
And I guess I realised that there was a gap for creative content in the sport that I loved. So always wanted to grow the channel that I would want to watch as a fan. And I guess the decision to go all in on it around 18 months ago was really the catalyst for change. I think it was always a bit of a hobby for me. I worked in sport, I worked for the ICC for a bit for Cricinfo, a bit for the Barmy Army, which was a great experience. But always knew I wanted to do my own thing, and just, I guess, getting that experience under my belt, knowing how the cricket industry works, and knowing that I always wanted to do my own thing and build my own brand, really, kind of focused my efforts and my attention. And as you know, building your own thing, I think it's one thing working for someone else, and I understand that, you know, sometimes you get more comfortable and get a more secure salary, and I definitely have been in positions where I should have gone and worked for the ECB or the ICC or something like that in cricket. But you know, I'm in my 20s, and I was like, you know what, now's the time to give it a go. And thankfully I've got great people around me. I mentioned Jacob, Jack. I've got other mentors who have really supported us in this journey, and it feels like we're only just getting started.
And from what we see as well, I mean, you are getting invited to these cool tournaments, and what you create is it keeps the attention. So that's awesome to see. Now, talking about, you know, the content that you create and the growth, what's your favorite video you've done? I think I already have an idea, and everyone watching will be like, oh, it's obviously going to be that video. But you're not allowed to use that video. Okay. Your second favorite.
Okay. So the one you're talking about is going to be the one with Ben Stokes on the rooftop at Red Bull. That was crazy. And that was also crazy because obviously it's England captain of an Ashes series, but it's also crazy because the amount of moving parts that were going on, and we're really proud of being able to produce a film that's got 700,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll put a link down below as well for that.
But it was really hard to put together because it was windy, it was on a rooftop, there were loads of different things going on. So very proud of that one. I think our Beautiful Cricket Grounds series is actually what I'm potentially most proud of. Because it's what I always wanted to do. I knew I wanted to make films, and I feel like stunning cricket grounds and the characters that make them so special is a really interesting area. So those videos might not necessarily get the most views, but I think visually they're really appealing and they tell a really cool story, and for me that's what Cricket District is all about. It's lovely coming to the SA20, it's great to go hopefully to the IPL one day and all these kind of things, but actually for me, cricket is going to your local village club, enjoying a nice pint of the local local ale, catching up with your mates, and just getting social, and the cricket is a bit of a bonus. So being able to tell stories about that kind of thing is what really drives me, and the other stuff is a real bonus, I suppose. And hats off to you guys. I mean, what you're doing is also indirectly growing the sport, or not indirectly, I think directly, because what you're doing is you're showcasing everything around the sport, and it's kind of what the content does is it lures people in who wouldn't necessarily, you know, like a specific part of cricket. You guys expose the cricket for the amazing sport that it is, which is amazing. Now, talking about that exposure and about, you know, the page, we're going to do a little challenge with some of the IXU ambassadors now. So I'm inviting us. I mean, I usually get I get a bit of crap for it when I invite myself to places, but as IXU, I invite us to England to go and do a challenge there. Brilliant. But now you're on our home ground, and we're going to do a little challenge, and we'll put the link for their video, and we'll put a little highlights video in this as well. But for that, you're going to need some gear, and we're going to talk about the challenge now. So we got you some Axon gloves. Fantastic.
To play with, and then a lovely Axon bat that you can play with now.
Look at that, I love the stickers.
Just don't beat us in it, please. So you can play with our gear, but just allow them to win, please.
I've seen them warming up already. They look a bit better already.
So these guys, they look dacked. They're solid. I mean, these two oaks, you'll see them now. But thanks for being willing to play with us now in this challenge that we're going to do, and thanks for what you're doing in cricket, and for, you know, taking the time to spend a bit of time with us, and all the best, and I hope you enjoy South African stuff. I mean, the food, the culture, just go all out.
And the cricket. No, thanks so much. And it's great to be sat with someone, you know, a like-minded person who wants to do something different in the cricket space, and actually grow the game in our own unique ways. You know, I think you're making kit that's more accessible, that's more colourful, that's more engaging, in the same way that we're trying to do videos that are exactly the same. So it's great to be connected.
Awesome.
Let's go smash you guys in the challenge.
Thanks, Toby.
Cool. Thanks, mate.